sunrise through the trees. Look at that beautiful color in the sky. It's like, I don't know, a big orange sitting in a fruit bowl. Wow, absolutely beautiful. The trail this morning, well, I got on trail about 5:30, obviously dark. It's starting to get light now though, as you can see. Did I tell you yet? But if I didn't, I'm going to tell you now. Today is day 51. And it is Good Friday of Easter weekend. Whew! So happy Easter, everyone. And if Easter is a time that isn't special to you, then I just hope you have a very happy day. But anyhow, happy day to everybody. And happy Easter to those. Okay, yeah, day 51, heading to Pearisburg. My original plan was to arrive there tomorrow morning, but I'm thinking if I push real hard, I can get there later today. And if I do that, it would give me the opportunity, maybe, because I think the post office will be open tomorrow morning, to put together a package of items and send them home, winter items that I may not be needing anymore. It being now April the 15th here in Virginia. So, well, if you come to think of it, it's April the 15th everywhere, not just here in Virginia. Wow, okay. Jasper here. Oh, good morning, everybody. Good morning. So right now, I'm about 5 miles or so in for the day. It's around 8 o'clock, maybe 8:10, 8:05. So doing great so far. I just did see a couple of deers, a couple of big does. I just don't know if I caught them on camera or not. Oh, we have a sign here. What does this sign say? This sign says Resupply Trail. Take a look, see? Oh, Resupply Trail. Huh. But we're not going on Resupply Trail. No, we're not. We are on the Appalachian Trail. So that's twice now I've seen deer. Oh, actually 3 times now I've seen deer. So I'm starting to see more wildlife here than I had before. For sure. No bears yet. Squirrels, of course. And that's pretty much it, along with the deer. So yeah, day 51. Well, day 51 is starting off well. What I have noticed is different kind of schools of thought as far as what Virginia is like. And somewhere around 150 miles almost into Virginia, I think I have a pretty good idea. Well, I know exactly what it's been like so far. So first of all, the notion that Virginia is flat, well, that's just not true. There's some big climbs in Virginia. There's no doubt about that. However, what does make life much easier is the terrain. The terrain is easier underfoot. Now, pretty much where I am right now, there's rocky sections and so on. But there's lots of sections where you seem to climb a big climb, you say 1,000 feet or 2,000 feet of elevation gain, and then you sit on top of this ridge and you hike along the ridge for several miles, and then you descend, and then you go back up the other side of another mountain, and you seem to sit on top of a ridge again for several miles. So you do get areas of flatter terrain than we'd had before, for sure. But there are also definitely big climbs here too. So yeah, is it easier going overall? Yes, it is. And it's easier to log bigger miles, no doubt about it. Not a given. You have to put the effort in, but it's still easier to do. It's easier to stay up to now to kind of work through. Okay, speaking of working through Virginia, let's get to hiking, shall we? Down below, look at that amazing river, and just to the right of there, the community, the highway of Pearisburg, and I believe it's Narrows, Virginia. Wow. The trail, well, hoo-wee. The trail is a challenge, no doubt about that, as we descend the rocks. Steep, really challenging. Right ahead of me, another hiker, that's the professor. But what an absolutely beautiful, beautiful day. Sunshine. I'm just gonna put you guys on my chest strap. That way I can use my poles and yet I can still talk to you. Yeah, I can still talk to you and film a little bit as we go. Definitely a challenging section in this very steep descent. And the young people, oh, they just fly down these sections. I don't fly very good at all, so I just take my time. But anyhow, so yeah, it's Friday. It's April the 15th, I believe. I have accommodations at the Plaza Motel. They have a hiker rate, which is $50 per night. That includes tax. You get a bathtub with that as well as a shower, which is really good. I don't think they do a breakfast with that or anything, but still, it's a good rate. And I actually have that motel for 3 nights. I was only getting it for 2 nights because I was scheduled to arrive here, or planned on arriving here tomorrow, but it's turned out just able to do better miles. And today would be an 18.8, 19 mile day to reach Pearisburg. Hopefully you could see it in the GoPro through there. And so this morning, well, I thought about it a lot last night, but this morning I decided when I got up, I was going to push into Pearisburg. And it turned out other hikers that were also scheduled to arrive tomorrow and take a 0, just like I was, had also decided, you know what, we're going to do the same thing. So I know there's the ghost out there, that's Carlos. I know there's Papa Bear out there, Frank, because you just saw a little ahead of us was a professor, myself. All those guys are all taking, or at least I believe they are, a 00 in Pearisburg, Virginia. Well, there you go. And we are almost there. The bath is going to be nice. I pick up my new shoes here, the replacement ones for my Ultras that the stitching came loose on. Hopefully getting a haircut. However, it is Easter weekend, and I'm not sure how that's going to affect me getting everything done. But anyhow, we'll see. Okay, I'm going to put you guys away. Entering the community of Pearisburg, Virginia. Plaza Motel, Pearisburg, Virginia. The office, Great service, by the way. Very nice lady. My room right here is number 2. And I'm right next to, yep, the laundry room. My room is number 2. As you can see, there is resupply in progress. There is laundry in progress. There's eating cookies and about to eat fruit and yogurt, almost in process. Clothes getting sorted, resupply boxes of shoes and items from Amazon for my camera and so on, my new wind muff, which is great. This room has a television. In fact, it has 2. Don't know why it has 2, but this one works just fine. Around the corner, a sink, as you can see. I'm washing my kitchen items. And in here, I've already had a good bath right in there. Now this is 50, I guess it's 55 US a night with tax, 110 for 2 nights. Don't know if I'm staying the 3rd night, which would be tomorrow night. Look at the view outside. Forget the parking lot and the Food Lion sign, but look at those rolling hills, the homes in the kind of mid-ground of this image. But we'll call that the foreground because we're going to forget about the parking lot, and then the beautiful mountains in the background. That's where I'll be going tomorrow, if I leave tomorrow on Monday. I was going to take a 00. Well, originally I was going to take a 0 because I was supposed to arrive today, but I really kicked it up a notch and I arrived yesterday afternoon, early evening, around 4ish. So I spent last night here, had Chinese food, it was good, a good hot bath, that kind of thing. Today went to the Walmart to resupply. Got my hair cut, what do you think? Oh my God, it feels better. Laundry, the lady here at the hotel, part of the rate, you get laundry done for hikers. This afternoon, and I've just finished my shopping for my resupply foods. This afternoon I'm just going to relax with that big bowl of fruit and some yogurts, watch a movie, and then decide if I'm going to Chinese for dinner, I did last night, or Mexican. I'm leaning towards the Chinese because I can load up with the meat and the vegetables. 52, day 52. What is it? Is it the 16th today? 16th of April? It's nice to relax, that's for sure. Talk to you in a bit. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to day 53. Yeah, day 53 on the Appalachian Trail. I believe today is April the 17th. It's Easter Sunday, and I am pushing north out of Pearisburg, Virginia, heading towards Daleville. Today being a Sunday, it's going to be Friday or Saturday when I reach Daleville. Almost 100 miles north of where I am right now. I know I was going to take, well, I ended up taking exactly what I originally thought was, which was a 0, but I'm a day ahead of that particular schedule only because I got to Pearisburg a day earlier after a hard, long push and basically a 20-mile day. Well rested, well fed, totally resupplied for the next push, the next 5 to 6 days of heading north again to Daleville. So the pack is heavy. Also, we're going through an area again of little water. The first water I'll come across this morning after leaving Pearisburg is at about 10 miles in. And the first shelter was almost 20 miles in. The first shelter that's suitable, there is one at about 10, but it's just too short a day. So I'll probably have to get my camp water at that 10-mile spot because there is no more water, as I say, until you reach that 20-mile shelter. And I just don't know. I just don't know if I'll be able to do that today with the full pack. We're in a stiff climb right now. We will play it by ear, and I'll know once I get to that water source at 10 miles in how much water. Do I carry camp water, or do I refill just my electrolyte water? We'll see when the time comes. But if I do refill my water there, it then gives me the option of, say, a 15 or 16 mile day. Whereas if I don't, then I've got to push to that shelter at 20. Okay. Good morning, world. Let's get to hiking. Well, the first major climb of the day was 2,500 feet total, and went pretty smoothly. It was over quite a distance. Sections were steep, a lot of sections were a little less gradient and a little easier going. But right now we're on top of the ridge. I have passed by the rice shelter, which was about 7 miles in for the day. That was about a mile ago, so probably got 8 miles in for the day right now. Pushing towards I think it's 19.3 or 19.7 to get to a shelter, the next shelter, that has water. The trail, well, rocky at times, but generally speaking, pretty good underfoot. And we're just in, I'm going to show you, just in basically a forest of, a lot of these trees are dead. A lot of these trees have no signs of life, but some do. Some beautiful views of Pearisburg below and Narrows, Virginia. Absolutely gorgeous. And, yep, we've got our new wind muff on our GoPro Hero 8 Black. So that should really help with the audio as far as cutting out any interference noise. It'll only last so long. It's made of foam, fits over like a cover. And what's hard on it is every time I put the camera in and out of the canvas pouch that I carry it in on my hip belt. That canvas pouch, a little heavy, but safe and secure and protective. But it's hard on the foam wind muff. Yeah, temperature, cold. Woo! I mean, when you're in the wind, it's quite breezy and the wind is really cold. If you're sheltered, but you're in the sun, then the sun has got a lot of power to it. It's quite warm. But up here on the ridge line, quite breezy, quite cold. That's a little bit of a mid-morning update on day 53 of our Appalachian Trail through hike. Please don't forget, like, comment, do subscribe to my channel. It will help the channel grow. And also keep in mind, at the end or at some point throughout this hike, I will be doing a video or several videos on the gear that works and doesn't work for me. We've already had some shining stars, such as Ultra shoes, for instance, who shipped me a pair of replacements with no questions asked within a few days, which I actually just picked up in Pearisburg. And then we've got some real losers out there so far, such as Osprey backpacks. But anyhow, we'll talk more about that once those stories all come to an end. The fat lady sings, I guess. But anyhow, kudos to Ultra Shoes for so quickly taking care of my needs as a thru hiker on the Appalachian Trail. I cannot say enough. I am wearing Lone Peak 5.0s. I did have an issue with a new pair I bought in Damascus, as you know. Minor issue, nothing serious. They had no questions. I said, sir, we're sending you a new pair of shoes. Where would you like it sent? I said, how about Pearisburg? Where are you staying? They said. I said, how about the Plaza motel. He said, we got you covered. And sure enough, those shoes were there. And once they'd mailed them, they contacted the hotel to tell me that the shoes would be there Thursday, and I was at that point arriving on the Saturday. Now, of course, I did arrive on the Friday because we pushed extra miles, but the shoes were there waiting for me. No issues whatsoever. And that all came, by the way, from Damascus Outfitters and Sundog Outfitters, all the same part of the same company in Damascus, Virginia. Kudos to you guys for getting the job well done. Contacting the Ultra rep, I can't think of her name, but a lady. Kudos to that lady for getting the job well done and taking care of your Ultra customer. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going. Take a look at that view over the rolling hills, the mountains in the distance, the valleys below. Is that not just beautiful? Just a few hundred yards behind me, in a beautiful little kind of outcrop and overlook, there's a guy having his lunch, sat on the grass, just enjoying every minute of the sunshine and the view. Beautiful day. Warmed up quite nicely. Not blisteringly hot by any means, but warmed up quite nicely. Now you'll see something here. I want to show you the difference between the blossom at, say, 4,000 or 5,000 feet and what we could see in town, which everything is in full bloom on the blossom trees. So there's a difference. The trail ahead of me, see a hiker ahead of me, that's Professor. And from this point here, we have around 7.8 miles. The Professor and I are both heading to the same shelter, and pretty much so is everybody else that's in this particular area for tonight's camp, whether they camp, tent, shelter, whatever. And again, that's how come you kind of camp with the same people pretty much most nights. How that gets broken up is one guy says, I'm taking a 0 in the next town, and another guy says, I'm taking a 00, and a guy says, I'm going straight through. So those kind of camping kind of people that you see each night at camp, it changes a little bit. But overall, quite often, it's the same people that are at the camp areas. And you'll see some of them sat at the side of the trail having lunch, and you might say, oh, I'll sit with you for 5 minutes, and you chit chat and have lunch, and people carry on or stay or whatever at their leisure. So that's why and how the Appalachian Trail is a social trail. It's a social trail almost limited to the people that essentially travel or hike at about your speed, because they're the ones that you generally do see most days. The ones that are faster than you, they're gone. The ones that are slower than you, well, they're behind you. It's the ones that are traveling about the same pace as you are overall that you see on a regular basis. Okay, more blossom here. Now maybe it's due to the species of tree that they're different, because this blossom here is further along. Take a look. It's a little further along. Is that blossom? I think that's apple blossom. Anyhow, just a little bit of an afternoon update. It's 1 o'clock right now. I'm anticipating being at camp somewhere around 4. Which will give me, I think it's a 19.8 mile day, which is a really good start out of Pearisburg and into Daleville. Yeah, everything's going good so far. That 0 yesterday treated me well, because I feel really good today. So the rest, the vegetables, the meat, the Chinese buffet, it really seemed to suit me well. I'm just relaxing and watching TV, movies, catching up on world news, although didn't really want to hear what I was hearing on the news. But anyhow, would be nice if Anne Murray could be on there saying no bad news to report today. That would be nice. We could just watch pictures of children playing in the park or wildflowers growing on time lapse. That would be nice. But unfortunately, we've got some people in the world that are just intent on screwing things up for everybody. Oh well, let's keep hiking. I don't know if you guys have seen these, but here in the States, they have a Kit Kat duos. We don't have those in Ontario, or I haven't seen them if we do. They're really interesting little characters. I tried these the other day, and I wanted to get some more because I enjoyed them. They're like a two-part thing. Look at that. Have you ever seen a Kit Kat that's green before? No, neither have I. And it's dark chocolate on the back. So it's mint and dark chocolate. Perfect way to take a break. I'm going to enjoy my break. Hey, if you guys are having a coffee break right now, I hope you guys are enjoying your break too. We'll talk to you guys in a little while. They're so good. If we don't have them in Canada, we really should get them. Maybe a little over 2 miles to camp for the end of day 53 that will be, and I believe it gives me 19.8 miles at camp. And again, there's supposed to be water there, and lots of it apparently. Today's been a shortage of water, so it just kind of forced you to do the miles today. So no 15 or 16 miler today, but pretty much 20. It's okay, gives me a good start towards Daleville. Tonight, after midnight, the rain is supposed to come. It's supposed to come tomorrow. We're talking to people, other hikers who are getting off trail tonight and taking a 0 tomorrow due to the weather. They're talking 30 to 35 degrees Fahrenheit for a high, so -1 to about +2 for a high. Rain, wind, wet snow, all the usual kind of mixed bag of cookies that the thru hiker really does not want. However, it appears to me I'm not really getting off trail, so the only option I have is to move forward tomorrow morning, and I will do that. And if I can get 15 miles in tomorrow, and then maybe camp, find a spot. I believe after about 5 p.m. the rain's supposed to stop, and things are just supposed to start to get a whole lot better again. So if I can get 15 miles in, find a nice little spot with water, little spot to make home, I would do that, and I'll take those 15 miles. I would take 10 miles if the weather was so bad. But if I can get at least 15 in tomorrow in that weather, I'd be really happy to do that. And that keeps me really nicely on track for arriving in Daleville. Hard to say what day. Today's Sunday, Easter Sunday. I'm going to say Friday night. I should be at the Ojo Hotel, whatever. Am I taking a 0 on the Saturday? Heck, I don't know. I felt good after this one. It might be nice to take a 0 maybe once a week, once every 8 or 9 or 10 days. I don't know. We'll see. But anyhow, right now, my immediate plan is to get to camp today, get my water, get myself set up. If the weather's going to be quite bad tonight, and it's supposed to be, I'll maybe take a spot in the shelter, keep my gear dry, my tent dry, and I don't have to pack up in the rain tomorrow morning, because it's supposed to be raining pretty good tomorrow morning when I'd be packing up. So that way my tent would be dry, and I don't have to carry that extra water weight with me. But that's if there's a spot. I know of people ahead of me, Papa Bear for instance, Professor for instance, another guy that passed us earlier might be at the shelter. That'd be 3 that I know of. Or maybe, don't know who else. So if there's a spot, and if there isn't, you know what, we deal with it. We have a good shelter or a good tent, and we just deal with it. That's fine too. Okay, this is a little bit of an update. The next time I talk to you, unless something amazing happens, I will be at camp. So we'll see you there.